Welcome back to Made for More. I am your host, Holly J. Moore. Today's episode is just a little bit different. I don't know if you know this, but my day job is as a lawyer. I am a divorce and custody lawyer. We do family law. I have a law firm, More Family Law Group. And every now and again, I just like to riff on some legal stuff. One could say it's my opportunity to get more legal. Dads, this one is for you. Actually, I take that back. It's for everybody. But it's about dads and how important dads are to kids. Dads are so critical to their kids. And the reason why is because dads are different than moms. And moms are critical too, but we're not talking about that on this episode. So moms, don't despair. You are absolutely critical. But I think really everybody already knows that. I think what people don't always recognize, or not as much as they do with moms, is how critical dads are. There's so many studies out there that talk about how a child's self-esteem is directly related to their dad. So even you could have a completely intact family unit, traditional family unit with a mom and a dad living in the same home, happily married, the whole 9 yards, and still the child's self-esteem comes from the dad and the dad's treatment of the children and dad's modeling behaviors and all of that. So that's one factor in how critical dads are to their kids. The other factor is they're just different. They do different things. They teach things in a different way. They have a different focus. I know as a mom myself, my husband is always coming up with things that he feels are really important to teach our girls that I never even thought of. And I think that having the mixture of perspectives of mom and dad is so critical. And this, if you're watching this, you probably are going through a divorce, you've been through a divorce, you've been through a custody battle. So I want to talk about it in that context. And what I want to say about that is, all safety concerns aside, if there are real safety concerns of your kids being with their dad, that's a different story. I am not talking to you today. I will talk to you another day. But what I'm talking about is parents that are safe to be around their children. And what I see oftentimes is, for many reasons, some of those reasons I talked about on the last episode of Sidebar, for many reasons, we want to try and reduce time with the other parent, oftentimes dad. I'll talk about it in terms of dad because that's what this episode is about. We know in court, whether we believe it or not, or we want to believe it or not, it's very much still, it's easier for a mom to get custody. I'll just be super real with it. It's easier for a mom to get primary custody of kids. A lot of the bench, the judges that make up the bench, like a lot of those people are still from the prior generation where, where mom was the primary caretaker, dad was out providing. And so there's still a lot of that mindset going on. The legal profession is also very, very slow to evolve. Slower than the DMV. Like, we still have processes that the DMV has already beat us on. But anyway, that's a sidebar for another day. Sidebar to the sidebar. So I think if you're watching this as a dad and you're thinking, I've just been fighting this court battle tooth and nail. I've been in and out of court for years. I'm tired of it. The judges are biased. The lawyers suck. My ex co-parent sucks, whether it was a wife or not. And you're just tired. My advice to you is keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. Your kids need you. And I've had cases, I've been doing this now for almost 2 decades. And so I'm starting to see the effects of the custody battles that I assisted with 20 years ago. And what I can tell you is I'm even doing some custody battles now of the kids that I fought for custody originally. They now have their kids and I'm representing them. But what I can tell you is, as I'm starting to see this flush out a couple decades later, is even if you never win the custody battle in the way that you truly want, even if you never get exactly what you asked for from the court, it matters to your kids that you fought for them. And they will know that. They will know that you put in the time and you did everything you could to be the biggest part of their life that you possibly could do. And the rest was out of your control. But keep fighting the good fight. Your kids need you to do that for them. If you're a mom watching this and you're thinking it is just so hard to let go and let dad do his thing, whether you're still married or you're not married and you're in a co-parenting situation, let go. Let go. Sometimes that's hard, but what you will find is there is value that the other parent is bringing that you're not. And it's not because you're a bad parent. It's not because you're inferior in any way. It's simply because you're a different person and you have a different role in this parent-child dynamic than dad does. And by letting go and allowing dad to parent these kids or this kid and allowing him to bring the value that only he can bring, because dads are different than moms. They just are. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just so different. I mean, after all, we're talking about Mars and Venus here. He just brings a different perspective, a different way of teaching things, a different way of leading the kids, a different way of leading the family. And as hard as it is to allow him to do that, to allow him the space to do that, and I know you have the tendency to just want to helicopter all over that, please don't. Please don't. It is best for your kids to allow them to have both of these influences in their life. Both influences matter. Please do not take that away from your kids. A prenuptial agreement, or sometimes called a premarital agreement, is an agreement that two parties enter into before they get married that basically chooses to deviate from state law. It assigns rights and responsibilities regarding assets and debts that are acquired during the marriage. Some common misconceptions about prenups are, one, that they basically doom the marriage to failure, or that it's really planning to divorce, and neither of those things are true. But the real value of a prenup is talking about and creating rules around how the things that you acquire during the marriage are going to be characterized. A prenup can protect things like art collections, real estate portfolios, businesses, all those types of assets. The ideal timeline to get a prenup is not 2 weeks before the wedding. The final version of a prenup has to be presented to the parties 7 days before they actually sign it. So there's like a 7-day waiting period. As soon as you get engaged, you should seek a lawyer's advice and counsel on a prenup and start the process then, because the closer the prenup is signed to the wedding, the more likely that the court is going to think there was some sort of duress involved in that person signing it, and they have to prove that the prenup was signed voluntarily in order for them to be enforced. At Moore Family Law Group, we represent a lot of high-profile people, celebrities, professional athletes, business tycoons. If you already have a lot of assets, or you think you're going to be acquiring a lot of assets during your marriage, we are the best ones to protect that for you and help you make your marriage stronger. Call Moore Family Law Group today.